Good morning, everyone. Good Saturday. In this video, I wanted to show you rapidly an overview of what we have reached during the week in terms of price action, in terms of movement we had, trading ideas that we could have um, played. And um, Here you can see the whole week as I like to have it in front of me the whole week in terms of price action from Monday open to Friday close, and I have it some levels and time sessions marked on the chart. You can see I like to have the Monday range marked out on the chart for the whole week duration, and then we have the Asian session, London session, AM, New York AM session from 9:30 to 11:30, Asia from 20 to midnight, and from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. London session. You can also see that I used to have New York lunch and PM session, but for the sake of the weekly review, that's not important. Other levels that I want to have on my chart are always the New York midnight open. You can see in purple here for each day. The 9:30 open in green dotted lines, and of course new eventual new daily open gaps, new week, old new week, and actual new week opening gaps. And then last thing, I didn't put it on the chart because to avoid confusion, but you can I usually also look at gaps, so you can see it here. We had a huge gap, overnight gap on this is not an overnight. Yeah, this is a gap from what ICT calls regular trading hours gap, RTH gap, that goes from 16:15 to that is the close of the stock market to 9:30 open again. Okay, so keep in mind that we have a huge gap on Monday, minor gaps on Wednesday and Thursday. Going back to our week, on the left of your screen, you can also see the calendar. We had many red folder news events on during this week, but on Monday there was no news. So Monday basically you could have it was not a good thing to participate in the market. You didn't want to participate in the market. Also, if there is an opportunity that well, I took an action, I took a trade on this for this Monday, and I shorted for after 10 a.m. actually around 11 a.m. I will show you in the low time frame why I shorted, because there was this huge gap here, RTH gap. So after 10 a.m. we run. If we take a look at the 4-hour chart on the electronic trading hours, at 10 a.m. we run 6 a.m. 4-hour candle high, and then we around 11 a.m. we reach for this RTH gap over here. If we go on the low time frame chart, the 1 minute, we can see that around 11 a.m. we start diving lower, and if this is the first presented fair value gap, we have a very good opportunity of shorting here, targeting this New York midnight open and London low. You can see here, from here to here. This is the zone, the area where I took my short. Of course, I didn't short from here to here exactly, but that was the idea. Let's remove this and go back to the weekly price action that we have here. So during the week, I expected higher prices. Of course, you expect higher prices because on the high time frame we are bullish. This is previous week close. This is kind of a bullish close. We run the high, yeah, but we run until here. We retrace until here, and on the daily chart, last Friday was last couple of days were bullish. After this day, Monday, where it's kind of neutral bullish, I expect prices to go higher. But we need to wait for that because, as we can see, Tuesday is a very choppy price action. The only thing that we can see on Tuesday um, was attractive, in my opinion, was this buy side liquidity over here. Okay, why? Because during the night we have a kind of a ranging Asian session. Then London session didn't take the high, but created relative equal highs over here and then run lower. Um, Going into the 9:30 open, we again touch the New York midnight open. How you can see how powerful this level, and then we go lower. We take London low. Remember, I'm into this session without any bias, uh, sorry, without any intention of participating in the market until now. When I see that we run London low, and this happens here on the low time frame, I can frame a long setup targeting this buy side liquidity over here. The main trade of the week was without doubt on Wednesday. Okay, if you can see on the left, we have news events at until 10 a.m. When we have news events, red folder news, we have so high impact news at 8:15, 9:45, and 10 a.m. We want to wait for 10 a.m. This is perfect because at 10 a.m. here we we have this situation. We have run widely the stops of Monday low, so this is the range during the night. During London session, these are protected lows. Okay, we don't want price to trade again in this zone, but we took this area out, so we have enough liquidity to run higher for the week. This being the temporary weekly high, so Monday high, and we want to frame a trade to target new highs on the week, okay? Because we are in an overall bullish market, and we expect to have new highs on the week. So this happens during the night. At 10 a.m. we wait for the news. This is how it appears to be the 4-hour candle. So very bullish pin bar collecting liquidity. taking Monday low liquidity and then closing as a pin bar here with a very wide candle, wick below the body of the candle. This is the 6 a.m. candle, so it keeps the retracement in the first quarter of the 4-hour candle 2 a.m. and we can see that it touches again Monday low. Look over here, we touch again these lows, those low. On the low time frame, just to give you an idea of my reasoning on the low time frame for the entry, what do I do? Wait for 10 a.m. This is our target. This is the liquidity collection I circled before with my brush. This is 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Okay, let's put it in red. Actually, like that, it's okay. 10 a.m. What happens? Here we already collected liquidity. We revisit 9:30 open and we use this fair value gap, first presented fair value gap 931, to bounce on it. Look at the precision of this gap introduced by ICT. Can you see? Once we see a candle, a rejection like that at 10 a.m., we can enter a long position. We close above the midpoint of the first presented fair value gap, and at this point we can target those highs here. Do we want to wait for, do we need for all the wall setup? Of course not. We don't need to wait for the wall target to be reached. We can close it before. We take our chunk of market and just be enough. What are our targets? First target is the first place where I took something out. It was this high, because of course this high, it's a first target. Then this, that was previous day high, okay, and of course targeting finally this one. All right, we don't need many trades per week. We just need patience and looking at the actual good setups with good conditions to trade. And then we run these highs on Thursday. Bullish price action. At the open, we can expect some retracement, right? Look at the regular trading hours. Look at the gap. This is a huge gap from the close of 4:15 p.m. to the open. This is the wall gap, all right? So we could have considered shorting in here, but well, there was not much opportunity. As I told you, the main trade was on Wednesday. Very clear and clean trade in the direction of the high time frame buys. And on Friday, there is an interesting trade too that I took. Asia, London, we run those highs. And if you see on ES, the situation is completely different. Yeah, here I have some notes I marked out on the chart, but don't pay attention to those. Actually, what I want you to see is the difference between Nasdaq and ES. Look at how, let's do like that. This is ES and this is Nasdaq. Okay. I want to, just a second, I want to synchronize the intervals. 15. All right. So this is Friday around 9:30, around 10. You can see how on Friday 9, you can see how we've got, this is 6, this is 9. Yeah, they open, and then you can see how we have got a divergence. Those three highs are lower highs. 6, this is 9:45, 12, 6, 10, 12. Okay. So if I want to short, because we run highs on Nasdaq, and we are starting to do the same thing also on ES. We are starting to dive in lower. I wait for 1:30 p.m. or right before, and I short this market, Nasdaq, of course, because it is weaker. Let's see the short we could have taken. This was the sell side liquidity I targeted. Sell side. As you can see, these are relative equal lows. Previous day low and relative equal lows with this low over here. Now, do you see this bearish engulfing candle over here? This one. We already had this down move that is confirmed over here. At this point, I wait for 1:30 open. These are two bearish, bullish consecutive fair value gaps that are inverted exactly here, and with a bearish engulfing candle. Bearish engulfing candle, for who doesn't know, it's a candle that takes, in my, there are also traders that consider a close, also that if it's not below the low, but for me, I only consider bearish engulfing candles, in this case, a bearish engulfing candles, if the actual candle took previous candle high and closed below previous candle low. Okay, so there are two conditions. When I see a candle like that, in this context, I want to be clear. You need a context. You cannot short every engulfing, bearish engulfing candle or long every bullish engulfing candle. When I see a candle like that, I don't want price to reach, to invalidate it. And this is my setup, okay, to close the week. It's Friday PM session, and I know what I'm doing here, right? That's it for the week. I hope that this kind of analysis it's useful for you. It is for me, to have my whole week in front my eyes in this way. And probably tomorrow I will make another video on the weekly plan for the next week. Okay, I hope see you again soon. Have a good Saturday and Sunday. Have a good weekend. Bye bye. Ciao.